What is MicroStrategy and why you need to know about this when you're in Bitcoin? Cryptocurrency has been pored over and analyzed by some of the best business strategy and economic minds in the world. Its steadily growing potential to be a powerful medium of exchange and even a driver of wealth is impossible to ignore. In light of Bitcoin's recent price increase, reputed American business intelligence firm MicroStrategy has purchased 12,333 Bitcoins, joining a pre-existing stash of 140,000 Bitcoins. Such numbers never go unnoticed. It seems they know something that we don't, and this is why you need to know about them. MicroStrategy is a prestigious business intelligence firm that is highly sought after ever since it was established all the way back in 1989. Their statistics, analytics, and business technology software packages are being used by some of the world's most profitable and well-known enterprises. If there's anyone that can command an almost clairvoyant-like knowledge of what kind of paths products and markets end up taking, it's the people running MicroStrategy and the creators of their products. So, when MicroStrategy invested $250 million into Bitcoin in August 2020, everyone was taken by surprise, amounting to around 24,500 in BTC. When prompted for an explanation as to why a company like MicroStrategy would invest so much in a volatile asset that surely cost them after 2021, CEO Michael J. Saylor said, "This investment reflects our belief that Bitcoin, as the world's most widely adopted cryptocurrency, is a dependable store of value and an attractive investment asset with more long-term appreciation potential than holding cash. It was also seen as a reasonable hedge fund against inflation, as reported by CoinDesk. As such, MicroStrategy built up a stock of $4.45 billion in Bitcoins by 2021. It was all tied up by a belief that cryptocurrency would topple gold as the most solid and sound holder of wealth. They seem to have echoed the beliefs of many supporters of cryptocurrencies who believed and still believed that, despite price fluctuations, Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies would grow to become an effective holder of your wealth. Such opinions, it seems, were vindicated in 2021 when Bitcoin hit a record value of $65,000, and it seemed to everyone that the company made the biggest investment mistake in their entire history when their hopes were quickly being dashed in 2022, only to again be vindicated slowly by events such as Standard Chartered's predictions, BlackRock's application for their own ETF, and the SEC approving futures ETFs for Bitcoin. If it were any other company, they would have lost confidence in Bitcoin after its year-long streak of loss and scams. But they're MicroStrategy, and they've always been on the top of the business intelligence game. Fast forward to 2023, and with $347 million in crypto assets purchased from April to June, MicroStrategy owns crypto worth more than their market cap, even as many analysis and watchdogs warn against going all in on Bitcoin, as it is still considered to be a highly volatile asset whose value can drop again at any time. Why? Why would a firm whose entire identity is based on scientific and mathematical analysis to figure out the best possible financial decisions invest so much in Bitcoin again after losing last year? It's probably because MicroStrategy wants to be the first ones present when and if Bitcoin finally reaches a point where it's stable. Michael J. Saylor's likening of Bitcoin to gold is not without merit in that sense. Bitcoin and gold share many similar attributes. Their overall supply is limited. Each can be divided or combined to make different amounts, as you're able to buy fractions of one Bitcoin, and both are generally easy to carry around in sufficient amounts for currencies. For commerce, a cryptocurrency potentially becoming stable enough to fulfill this demand is unimaginatively called a stable coin, and stable coins do exist that are tethered to the US dollar, the euro, and such. These stable coins typically serve the role of an alternative and maybe even a transitionary role in making digital versions of the currencies that they are tied to for governments who are adventurous enough to try to make it such. But why are Bitcoin-based stablecoins hard to see? This relates to the abundance of smart contracts on the Ethereum platform. Small contracts contracts enable the management of Ethereum loans and collaterals, a compatibility not inherently present in the Bitcoin blockchain. But what if market forces and regulations guide Bitcoin towards becoming an organic stablecoin? Some analysis argue that if Bitcoin is brought under more and more regulation, then a lot will be done to stabilize its value, as the baby steps towards that are currently being taken towards that future by the EU and the SEC in America are being widely celebrated. Bitcoin is already the most widely used and widely invested in cryptocurrency out there. Its movements affect economies and markets worldwide. There have been a sufficient volume of investments which still objectively makes it a worthwhile store of wealth. After all, power believes where people believe it resides. In light of all this, it's known that MicroStrategy's share price has still doubled this year, outperforming even Bitcoin, as it has surged alongside other stocks that trade in cryptocurrency, such as Coinbase. What would benefit MicroStrategy even more and truly help to hedge its resources against the dollar is stable coining. Bitcoin is the most liquid cryptocurrency and has the largest value and user base, and it has hundreds of thousands of miners backed by multi-million-dollar mining companies to keep it up and flowing. Michael Saylor has assumed a position advocating for Bitcoin, making any rises in institutional ownership of MicroStrategy shares noteworthy as potential signs of broader interest in Bitcoin. The company has become synonymous with Bitcoin and now holds an amount approaching 0.7% of the total Bitcoin available. Recent reports covering the current year indicate that institutional ownership of MicroStrategy shares surged by 121% during the first quarter. This figure includes notable instances of sudden increased exposure by significant entities, with the largest purchases originating from the Bank of America, which boosted its holdings by nearly $60 million. BlackRock also has substantial acquisitions, and we'd like to remind you of the fact that BlackRock has applied for its own Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock has trillions in investments, and yes, trillions, with the Bank of America joining the action through MicroStrategy. Official Bitcoin investments and accreditation are going to reach an all-time high. MicroStrategy has become one of the largest Bitcoin proxies, a way for large corporations to use Bitcoins as a hedge while protecting themselves from risk, and such a practice is why you need to know about them. Keep an eye out for more news as the price of Bitcoin continues to rise up steadily. Subscribe and stay tuned for more insight on crypto and finance. Thanks for watching.